Hi, I'm Sarah.
And I'm David. We have got to talk about The Bachelorette. It's blown up. It's blown up, Sarah.
It's a whole new Bachelorette. But first, if you're new to this channel, please click subscribe and give this video a thumbs up.
And if you want to support us on Patreon, there's a link in the video description. Sarah, I have been dying to talk to you about these episodes. We haven't talked. This is literally the first time we are talking about these episodes. I am so excited to get into this with you.
We took a mini break, so we haven't talked, and we have to talk about 2 episodes. We have to talk about episode 4 and 5. Because we got to resolve Claire and start anew.
Honestly, I apologize to everyone that we, missed the timeliness of seeing Claire blow everything up, but we're gonna get into it because my God, I honestly am like, this is such a weird season for you to be jumping in on it, Sarah, because this is just so unorthodox and
I love it.
I mean, I'm sure the producers are annoyed at first, but then they're like, this is actually incredible that because they're always trying for a first time in Bachelor history, and legitimately this is the first time, so
speaking of that, before we get too far in, Seth, who's here in the chat, asked on the Discord, is it possible that this was all set up and scripted from the get-go because it's just so crazy? But I think you kind of hit the nail on the head when it got to a certain point. The producers were like, you know what is cooler than Claire?
Yeah.
Let's just scrap it.
No, for sure.
Force a proposal.
Right. They're like, this is not going well. This is not making for compelling television. The guys are getting pissed. We got to mix this up.
Yeah.
You know what we could do? We could just real quick, wrap it up with Claire, boot her out of here, and get a new Bachelorette. Not the worst idea, right? Maybe we can do it.
And a little bit of research told me that because later we'll get into the fact that new men show up. They were already sitting there at the La Quinta.
They are ready.
Just in case something happened. Mm-hmm. They were still quarantined.
There was a second string waiting. Yes. But back in the beginning of, this is week 4 that we're going to talk about first.
Yes.
The guys, I loved this opening sequence, Sarah, because it reminded me of that hilarious imagine. What you were speculating on what Claire was doing that made her late when she was sniffing Dale's pants, and you were like, she doesn't care about time, she's a Pisces or whatever, and you were like, she's writing in her journal and she's fixing her hair, and then we see Claire literally writing in her journal in this opening sequence when the guys are they're pissed about Dale and they're like, what is going on with Dale? And then there's Claire dear diary, I love Dale so much. I was like, Sarah was exactly right.
And honestly, I have a little bit more info about her astrology that we'll get to. So get ready for that. These guys are just they're not happy. This has not been fun for them.
Yeah.
All around, they're coming off of that group date where no one got a rose. And they were like, really, Claire? None of us gave you. And the tables have turned. We're no longer whatever you need, Claire. We're now okay, Claire, really?
Yeah. They're all seeing what's happening. They're like, don't try to put this on us that we're not giving you anything. The problem is that we're not Dale and you're head over heels in love with Dale. But there's nothing inherently wrong with what we're doing here. You're not being fair. So they're over it. And so right away we get Chris Harrison, knock, knock, Claire, we got to have a real talk here. Because this is not going to work.
Did you notice, he was out of breath? It seemed like Chris was nervous. You don't see him a little worked up like this. He wasn't smooth, seamless. I think they were sitting down in a production room being like, we got to pull the plug on this. We can't go on like this. And Chris was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah.
Girl, what's going on here?
And he starts it they start nice, right? He's like, so how's it going? Talk to me about how you're feeling. And then it just kind of slowly shifts into so this is not working. Claire.
No.
And we can't continue down this path. It's not going to end well for anybody. Like, and then it's just sort of like kind of dawns on Claire of like, oh no, oh God. Like I thought this was a different conversation. And now I'm realizing that you're telling me that this is not how you do the Bachelorette.
Been playing this off. You've noticed. Yeah. He like kind of corners her with so did you guys talk? Like, don't BS me.
Yeah.
Did you guys talk before you came here?
Yeah.
And she's all like, oh my God, no, I swear on my father's grave. Like, no, I didn't. But she did make it clear that she cyber stalked him.
Yeah.
And all of the sudden in this moment, I was like, I see. I get it. She is the type of person who fell in love with someone's Instagram page.
Yes. Oh God, it was so painful to see it like this because I'm just like, I mean, I've been there. Like you're on the dating apps or what? I mean, she obviously was Instagram stalking him.
You've fallen in love with someone's Instagram account?
Yeah, well, not their Instagram, but like if I'm on Tinder or something, I'm like walking down the aisle with this person. I'm like, what color tux would I wear with this person? Because clearly this is the love of my life. I have never spoken to this person at all, but I'm convinced. I'm like, where are we going to live? Like what neighborhood? How big is our house going to be? Like, I get it. I think we've all done that at some point in our lives, but for her to kind of like sit there and admit it to Chris,
right,
is just like, I was a little bit embarrassed for her because I was like, everybody watching is kind of cringing. Like, you don't actually know this person. You just have an image of him in your head and you've known him for 3.5 days.
And let me just ask, how real are Instagram accounts? Is that authentic?
Thank you.
Okay. So okay, got it.
Oh,
okay,
boy.
well, he does say to her, congrats, you've just blown up the Bachelorette. Now, they've been playing this in the previews for 1,000 years, it feels like. But every single time, it was the back of his head and it was a voiceover. And so I assumed he didn't actually say that to her. He said that separately, but nope. This was a full-on his face saying it to Claire.
He also when he asked the question about the dad, where he was like, you've said all, I was like, this is Chris Harrison at his hosting best,
right?
Pulling the tears out of her eyes. Like, you said you were looking for someone who would remind you of your dad. Claire, is that Dale? And she, the immediate waterworks. I was like, he's such a pro. He knows exactly what to say to get the emotion,
This is why he gets paid the big bucks. Not because he says, gentlemen, this is the last rose.
You're on the wrong side of history here. Chris Harrison deserves every penny he makes with that one line every episode.
I'm going to still argue with you on that one. I'm not so sure. But Chris also has to now go tell the guys, no ceremony tonight, guys.
And this was a little messed up, I thought, because he's not telling the guys everything. Like, he's stringing them along. Like, they're playing the guys for drama here. He's like, so, I talked to Claire, and just so you know, there's going to be no cocktail party tonight. In fact, there's going to be no rose ceremony. I will see you all tomorrow. And hey, Dale, can we talk one-on-one? I'm like, this is mean to these guys now.
That is mean. But you know what? Honestly, Claire and Dale have not had a one-on-one date yet, and that had to happen.
Yeah.
Like, Chris is like, girl, we're shutting you down. And she's like, can I just touch base with Dale? And they're like, yeah, I think you guys need to get on the same page here.
Go on a date.
Production had no choice. They had to be like, all right, they get a date.
Yeah.
Where are we going with this, guys?
Oh, and it's not even like, it's very clearly impromptu, this date. Like, it's just a dinner. There's no activity here. They're like, you guys just need to sit down and get to know each other. Legit. Yeah. And, they're really asking some questions for the first time. Like, it's just kind of laying bare how little they truly know about each other so far. And I'm just like, and Claire in the date, Dale's saying things they obviously have this traumatic situation with parents in common. And there's a lot of bonding that's happening over that with his mom who's passed away and her dad. And I totally understand that that's something that when you have that in common, that like it's you feel seen by that person in a way that, you know, other people will never see you. So I understand the strong bond there. But like, it's just like as things are coming up in common, or even that Claire just thinks are in common, she does this hilarious thing where she like whispers and she goes, same. Dale, same. Like she whispers the word same because she just, it's like this disbelief of like, this is the man of my dreams, you know? Claire, you're so dramatic, but it's very fun to watch.
She's so dramatic. And she does that. Like she's talking like a normal person. And then she goes, yeah. Like I just like can't with, then she does that. And I just like start to cringe because I'm like, that's crazy.
I know, like it's almost like veering into like a little bit of baby talk sometimes.
Yes.
She's like, yeah.
Guess what? I don't need your baby talk. Save that for when the doors are closed. I mean, I thought Dale looked terrified in this moment, but she is like laying it out. She's like, look, I can't think of anyone else. I just want to give you all the roses, but I'm not allowed to. I'm only one. Like I am falling in love with you. Huh?
Yeah.
And he takes the bait. He's like, even though he looks terrified, he then
does look terrified.
Yeah. Yeah. I too am falling in love with you.
I am dying to know what was actually going through Dale's head in this moment, because like they do a good job of like intercutting this date with footage of the guys, and the guys are still mad and they're like, what is going on? You know, like it's this like parallel dramas of this relationship that Claire is convinced is, you know, their soulmates, and Dale is kind of like, what did I get myself into? Like, I like making out with you, but that's really all I know so far. And then these guys who are like, these people just met. Like, how can they be in love? You know, like it's a very interesting like juxtaposition there. But I'm just like, what is Dale truly thinking? Is he thinking like,
don't you want to know?
Yeah, like, listen, there's clearly something here. We got chemistry.
Yeah.
But I don't know. Is it just physical? Like, you know, all we've really done is like romped around on the bed a little bit, and you've like touched my body with the physical touch date. Like, and now you're falling in love with me. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I think you have to be of the mindset when you sign up to go on The Bachelor or The Bachelorette. Like, you have to be of the mindset of like, I'm all in. I'm all into telling this person I'm falling for them. I am all into like trying to make this work. And if the crazy lady falls for me within a week, like, even though I think this is way too fast and I don't know her, I think, all right, I signed up for this, so I'm going to give it a shot, is what I'm assuming is going through his mind, because he seems terrified, but he also seems on board.
Yeah.
So they, you know, they seem to be on the same page in this moment. So they go to make things official at her presidential suite, is where we just like moved to the fantasy suites. Is that what they're called, David? We just moved to that episode.
Yeah. Yes. I suppose her presidential suite is now the fantasy suite, because we're waking up the next morning, they're nude. And I'm like, did they bone? Because I kind of that's what I was like. I mean, yeah, they definitely did. But part of me was like, they also, need to bone. David? Well, you know, I'm trying to be respectful about it. Boinking. Did they do the loop-de-loo? I don't know. They did it. They did it. So, because part of me was like, they just need to get that out of the way and honestly clear their heads a little bit and see how they really feel. Because sometimes if you are just lusting after someone and you think you're in love, and then you do the deed and you're like, ooh, you know, you're like, I think that was it. Fun.
All right.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah. So I'm very curious, like, what is it going to be like now that they've woken up after, you know, christening the El Presidente suite?
Well, she says even more so this morning. Like, she makes a comment of like, that just sealed the deal. Like, now our chemistry is like explosive on all levels, all shapes and sizes. So Chris says to Claire.
Yep. We got another Chris talk.
Well, I mean, like, what else are we doing in this episode except Chris has to like direct us through absolute chaos?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Oh my God. Busy Blue. Thank you for the super chat. And yes, Fantasy Suite, just out of the blue. Let's just skip right to it. We don't need to know anything else.
Nope.
But I loved that in this conversation with Chris and Claire, because he's like, check him back in. Did it go okay? And she's like, he's really good in the sack. He said, no, Claire says to Chris, you said when you called and told me I was going to be the Bachelorette that you'd never give up on me. And you didn't. You got me here. And I was kind of like, I think he's just given up on you, Claire. He's
because it kind of got to the point where Claire's saying things and Chris is like, okay, and he kind of can't believe what he's hearing, and he can't believe that this situation is real. And I think he probably genuinely cares about Claire as a person, but he's kind of, I have to imagine that he's like, this is a little crazy, but I can't say that.
Well, he finishes this with, I can't believe you are doing this to us. And I was like, that doesn't sound like he's not giving up on you. It sounds like he's like, you've literally ruined my show that I worked so hard on.
Yeah. Right.
Every year.
I'm not just the host of this show, like I'm a producer of this show, and I kind of can't believe you're doing this to us.
My brand is this show.
And we all are like risking our safety by being here, and now you're blowing it up. Thank you. Great. So he has this talk, and I think, doesn't he kind of tell her, like, you got to talk to the guys, like, you owe it to them to say something, like, you haven't spoken to them yet. They're all wondering what's going on. So she's got to march in and kind of like face the jury, of these guys who are like fed up, angry. And she has to walk in and be like,
over it.
I signed up for love and I found it, and it's Dale. And I really appreciate everything you gave up to be here for me. It means the world. And I don't know your names, but thank you so much. Goodbye.
I don't know who you are, but I felt like you guys deserved to know the truth, that I've already fallen in love. And so I don't need y'all anymore. Peace out. And she like comes with this attitude that like she's doing them a favor by letting them know, like cutting it short. I love Dale. And this is when Kenny became the love of my life, because Kenny was like, this is actually my episode, Claire. What you done did is not cool, and I would like an apology. And she then like, we get offended Claire, which we have seen a few times.
Yeah. Well, she will apologize if she wasted your time, but she will not apologize for love.
No, she will not. And also, if you phrase it, I will apologize for this, that's actually not an apology.
It's not. You haven't actually said you're sorry.
No.
You said you will say you're sorry, but you didn't actually say it.
And in a very defensive tone. So none of that was an apology whatsoever. But luckily, Ivan steps in here and says, you know what? I really liked your boldness. And so, hey.
Yeah.
Go get it.
I was a bit surprised at it turning into a little bit of like a love fest for Claire. Like even Ben was like, listen, I'm happy that it worked out for you. I wish that it had been me, but I think it's great that you found it with Dale. And I'm like, how are any of these men finding it in them to like wish her well in this moment? I'd be like, this was a complete waste of my time. What am I doing here? Thanks for nothing. That's how I would feel about it. But I guess some of these guys.
I know, but you are on television. And so, I mean, in this moment, I did appreciate Kenny. I did appreciate the ones who were saying like, you kind of screwed us all over and wasted our time. But I also, at one point you're just like, what else am I going to say? You know what? I wish you the best. Good luck. Ain't going to last, but good luck. I'm sure is what they're thinking. So
now we get more of Chris Harrison really earning that paycheck. He's really proven himself to Sarah here. And he's got Neil Lane on FaceTime. We've got to get the jeweler on the phone. And I'm like, do not tell me that this is leading to an engagement. This is what I'm thinking in this moment. I'm like, this is insane. Like, I know it's a ridiculous thing to say that the Bachelor franchise could lose credibility, but I'm just like, this is really crossing a line that you're trying to set up an engagement after 4 days of knowing someone.
David, you lost me when Chris is like, buddy Neil, hey, guess what? Things are moving fast over here. And
You
Neil's
got
like,
those rings ready?
when you need it? You need it today? All right, shipping it on over to you. I was like, when did Neil Lane become FaceTime in this show? What am I watching right now? What is this?
Oh my God. But then, Chris goes and sits down with Dale and he's like, Claire's waiting for a proposal. Dale.
Did you see Dale's face at that moment?
Yes.
He's all like, hey, Chris. Hey, Chris. Oh.
Wait, what?
Oh.
A ring? I'm like, I really kind of feel for the guy at this point. I'm like, yes. You really are in over your head because this train is moving. Moving. Whether you know it or not, Dale, you are getting down on one knee. These producers will force you down. They will push you down by your shoulders to get on one knee, and they will force a ring in your hand, and you will put it on Claire's finger. That is where this is going. Okay?
100%. Like, honestly, this is what kills me about this entire franchise is that you come to a point when it's either propose or break up. There's no in between, when in reality, Dale and Claire need to just go spend some time together and see if this is legit. But no, that's not an option.
No. It's like we're not wrapping this story up by sending you two off in like a Ford Focus to be boyfriend and girlfriend. Like, no. Yeah. You're getting into your white dress. We're renting a tux from like Palm Springs tuxedo shop. It doesn't even fit that well, but we weren't ready. So here's this ill-fitting tux for you to wear. Get out there, figure out what you're going to say. Here's a ring. It's not Claire's size, but we'll get it sized later.
We'll figure it out.
Say I do and get the F out of here. Okay.
Yes. I mean, again, I think Dale seems just like up for the adventure because he's got no choice in this moment, but he doesn't want to like break up with Claire. I think he's like, we do have some chemistry. So we just went to the fantasy suite. I don't want to break up with her the next morning, basically, is what we're doing. So she shows up in her, why is she in a pageant gown every single time I've ever seen her? Like, Claire, let's loosen up the wardrobe a little bit. Like, there are other styles of dress I don't understand. But here we are in another pageant gown, and he walks in. David, he hasn't shaved.
No.
He has the darkest circles under his eyes.
Yeah.
Okay. Dale's been looking flawless this entire time, and then he rolls up looking like,
ooh, did not sleep last night. Nope. Has really been tossing and turning. And again, like the editing was so smart here with intercutting it with guys at the pool being like, Dale's not going to do this, right? Like, that's crazy. He doesn't even know her. And then, Dale's like, then they cut to Claire and she's like nervous with Chris. And she's like, I just don't know if Dale's going to show up. Like, I've been, essentially left at the altar so many times. I'm so damaged, And then more of the guys like, okay, this is a joke. Dale is not going to propose to her. And then he struts on in that tuxedo. But like you say, a bit disheveled considering the moment.
Again, he's giving me different clues, like visually. And then after she does her little spiel, he says all the right words, even though they don't match his appearance. He says, I'm doing this. And he gets down on one knee and he's like, hey, let's go for this. This is exciting. This is an adventure. Let's do it.
Will you marry me? And Claire's like, yes.
Oh my God. Yes. Yes. So many yeses. This is the moment. This is the moment, David, she's been waiting for forever.
It is. But I will say, I've seen many of these engagements, right? And it makes total sense, but I just have to point out that this is the least chemistry that I've ever seen between two people who have just gotten engaged on this show.
Really?
Like, I feel like they're so wooden as they're standing together. They always do this with the champagne in the hand, talking to camera, like, we're engaged, we're so happy. But Claire, like, doesn't even really know how to hang on to Dale yet. Like, she's kind of got her arm around his shoulder in a really awkward way. And I'm like, yeah, you spent almost no time together. Like,
did the deed. They just got to know their bodies. Like, you're not super like casually touching each other yet.
Yeah.
I guess that's what happens when it's within a week.
Yeah.
And you are engaged. I don't
So they
know.
are engaged,
Well,
and
that's it.
now
Off they go
Chris
into
has
the
to,
sunset.
yeah, they're gone, and now Chris has to kind of break the news to the guys, and he goes in and he's like, so they're engaged and Claire's gone, and I promise there was no pre-relationship. Like, she swore up and down that this is real. She did not talk to him in advance. And the guys are all just kind of like shell-shocked.
Yeah.
Not that this like should not be 100% a surprise, but they're just kind of like, what is happening?
I mean, first off, I couldn't believe Chris gave them all that information. Like, I thought Chris was going to leave them hanging a little bit and just be like, hold up, we got something else for you. But like, they got the whole news that they're engaged and everything. And of course, like, people like Blake are super upset.
Oh, yeah.
Jason. Oh, poor Jason.
But, you know, all the like high profile guys with Claire are totally bummed. You know, they were like, wait a minute. I really thought I had, like, I knew things were like intense with Dale, but I kind of felt like maybe I could overcome that. Like, I still had a little bit of a chance, but obviously not. You know, it is kind of like, it's a big ask, I think, to say to these guys. And this is what Chris says, like, your journey's potentially not over.
Yeah.
If you want to leave, you can leave. But if you want to stay, we've got some, like you say, Sarah, we've got something for you. But that kind of is a big ask for them to like totally shift the way they're thinking about things. Like, I don't know how you do that, really.
Yeah. I liked that Chris gives them this option and says, like, he doesn't tell them that a new bachelorette's coming in, so they don't know if we're about to get like a group of people or like how this is going to move forward, but gives them the option. Hey, we're here for you guys too. And honestly, at this point, I'm here for these guys too. Like, this episode made me go, I like these guys more than I liked Claire.
Absolutely.
Them some love. Like, I do want them to have a chance. So I was like, cool. So they had just like not that long. He says till tonight. You know, if you're in it, if you want to stay, get dressed and come back here for a cocktail party tonight. Otherwise, you know, you can go if it was Claire or bust, you know.
And it feels very real in this moment because some of the guys are dressed in their cocktail wear already. Like, it really feels like the train was moving with these guys. They were getting ready for the cocktail party. They were expecting to see Claire tonight. And then Chris really does bomb in with this information of like, they're gone, but we're have a cocktail party. So some guys are ready for that in terms of their wardrobe, you know, and the other guys have to decide, like, am I gonna put on a suit? Is this gonna be like Bachelor in Paradise now, where they bring in a bunch of girls and we're all trying to find love? Like, what is this? They have no idea what's going on.
No.
And when they all get settled for this cocktail party and Tayshia shows up, it was a bit sad for Claire because these guys, their jaws were on the floor with Tayshia. Yes. They were like, whoa, Tayshia's here. Okay, I'm in with Tayshia.
They went from, oh, I'm so conflicted. Like, what? Like, Claire. And then they were like, who's Claire? Oh my God, Tayshia.
Literally.
Hello.
They're like, bye, Claire. Okay, bye. See you never. Tayshia's here now. Thanks for everything.
Enjoy your Dale. I'm gonna hang out with this one over here. Yeah, like I liked when the vibe started to change. So we do need to say, like, all 16 guys stay at this point. Like, you know, I was really kind of hoping that not Dale, who's the
Jason?
Blake
Moynes,
Blake and Jason are the two that like seemed the most conflicted, and I kind of wanted one of them to leave just to make me feel like we're not just here for a TV show, but whatever. They all decide to stay, and I liked that Bennett was like, "Great, I was not really invested, so let's start over. Let's do something new."
Yeah.
So this is when I get excited.
Yes, I mean, they are just like tongues wagging at Tayshia. And it's interesting to see the shift now in the guys who are getting camera time, because the Blakes and the Jasons are not, maybe they were front runners with Claire, but I don't think they're front runners with Tayshia, because now all of a sudden Jordan's getting a lot of camera time. Zach's getting a lot of camera time.
Who's Zach?
Brendan is getting a lot of camera time. Literally, my girlfriend Sam that I watched this with was like, who is that? Multiple times in these 2 episodes, she was like, I've never seen that person in my life. And I was like, I know, but apparently now he's important. Apparently he's going to be important because he's getting all these confessionals and like we're going crazy over his turtleneck. And like, when did this guy become a major player?
Yeah, I mean, I have seen these guys before. I thought Brendan looked funny with his mop of curls on his head and his turtleneck. Like, that's not my style. But to each his own. And then all of a sudden, it's like Brendan. And I was like, what? I'm over here rooting for Easy. Easy's been my favorite since the beginning. I love his personality. And when Tayshia walked in, Easy's like, holy crap. Like, let's go. I want her. And I'm like, yes, Easy and Tayshia. And then like, he's not getting a lot of screen time after that. And so now, then I start to worry about Easy.
Because he got that, we'll get there, but he does get a rose on a one-on-one. I think he's definitely in the mix here. So that's great. But here's what I love. Here is what I love. They bring in new guys. This is something that happens in Bachelor Australia. Let me give you a little lesson. They don't switch bachelorettes in Australia, but they do mid-season. She's, whoever the bachelorette is, has sent a bunch of people home. And then they bring in what they call intruders. And it's like 4 or 5 new people. And it always leads to this like delicious drama between the original guys and the new guys. And so I'm loving seeing sort of a different version of it, but a version of this on American Bachelor, because like this has happened on the international versions of the show. So I'm like, this is going to be great.
I mean, yes, bring it. They only brought in 4. I thought that was great. We've got a nice number of 20 guys. Like, don't leave her with just 16 leftovers, Like, give her a few new people. And of course, the OGs are like, who are these new guys?
Right. Macho. They're like puffing out their chests. Like, who are you, man? Yeah.
Now, I was like, how did we, in the middle of a pandemic, get 4 guys? Like, what happened? And Tayshia even said, like, a week ago, I would have never thought. So, like, we got a little clue that Tayshia had, like, a week of quarantine, I guess.
Yeah.
But turns out these dudes have been at the La Quinta this whole time as backups in case something went wrong, in case someone got sick. They had a surplus of gentlemen.
Yeah. Or in case Clare decided to blow up the Bachelorette and they needed to do a restart. So the producers are probably like, thank God we've got the backups. Like, bring them in. Hey, B team, we're ready for you.
Yes.
And so who are these new guys? We've got Spencer, right? And Noah.
Definitely got Spencer. Montel, Peter, and Noah. Yeah.
Yeah. So these are the 4 new guys.
Spencer gets heat from the get-go.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. They're just not liking Spencer very much. He's got a weird vibe. And I mean, that would happen with anybody, like the original guys are just not going to like these new guys no matter what. But I love the tension. I think it makes for, very interesting dynamics amongst the guys. And then I love when, I think there's like a cocktail party, right? Tayshia comes in and she's like, wow, what's going on? Here we are. Okay, let's do this. Like, thank you guys for staying. Thank you guys for coming. I don't know anybody. So let's go. Like I didn't get limo introductions from 16 of you. So like, let's do this. I got to start to get to know people. And so, we get all these like one-on-one times.
Yeah. And luckily for these guys, she actually is giving everyone attention. Like, she really does want to meet everybody. So she's doing her rounds. She's talking to everyone. And most of these guys are like, oh, this feels so much better than Clare. Like, I'm liking this so much better.
I know.
She's more my speed. She's more my look. Like, all around. She's more their everything.
And I think it's largely, at least I hope largely, that she's just being more respectful. She's like really giving her attention to all of these guys, genuinely trying to connect with everyone. It's not so like, that's the guy and I'm focused on that one person. And I'm like, when I'm talking to you, my eyes keep flitting away to this other person. Like, Tayshia really is present in the moment with all these guys. And I think that's such a breath of fresh air for them. And they're like, oh, like, to feel noticed by this woman is like new. This is great. I am into this. And then I love when she was like, there's no rose ceremony. Like, I just met you all. How am I supposed to like make a choice? And also there's only 20 of you. So like, I don't
Yes.
want to be sending a bunch of you home right now. So let's
No.
just all stay and continue our cocktail party and have a nice evening.
Yeah, I thought that was lovely too. Like, she doesn't need to start getting rid of people yet. She deserves
Yeah.
20 guys, I guess. I mean, I was complaining about 31 a minute ago, but here
Yeah.
we are, where I think 20 guys is a respectable number. I also think that the guys appreciate that she's not, hey, give me a list of the things you like about me.
Yeah.
She's like, tell me about you, and I'll tell you
Yes.
about me. You don't have
Yeah.
to just compliment me the whole time. And that's got to feel a little bit better, right?
Yeah, and she does give the first impression rose to Spencer. So, you know, that's just another little thing that they are
I've
not
heard
going
that
to
that's
like.
important.
It is important. It is important. And the original guys obviously are not happy to see a newbie getting the first impression rose. But they're like, this Spencer, this is going to be an interesting dynamic because they're kind of setting him up as a bit of a villain character, maybe unfairly so, because he's being villainized by this like mob of 16 original guys. But he does have like a little bit of like
He's
a devious glint in his eye.
Yeah.
But Tayshia seems to genuinely like him. And so there's always good drama when the, you know, Bachelorette likes the villain genuinely.
The villain, right. I imagine that's interesting. When she gives him the first impression rose, she also gives him a kiss. And I learned in this episode, Tayshia likes to kiss as many of them as she feels that she wants to.
Yeah. And now, how did you know, I know we had some issues, Sarah, with the tongue in a Clare kiss. How does the tongue in a Tayshia kiss compare?
There was definitely less tongue, so I appreciate it across the board that they weren't leading with the tongue, like they led with the lips. Once the lips have connected, feel free to do whatever you'd like with your tongue. I just don't want to see the tongue coming at me. So it wasn't as cringy to watch her kiss. All of these guys like she did, but I was definitely caught off guard. Now, I watched this with my sister, and so I was like, oh my God, she's kissing. And Katie was like, Sarah, yes, they do a lot of kissing on this show. And I was like, oh, all right. It's just, but like every time she was
kind of
like, oh, hey, nice to meet you. And then she was like, whoa. And I was like, oh my God, they're kissing again.
I wonder if you'll ever get used to that, Sarah.
I wonder. We'll see. By the end of this season, we'll see if I'm like, yeah, and they were just kissing. It was fine.
Yeah, right. So then they show this season, or, you know, coming up this season on Bachelorette, they show us the Tayshia preview. You know, like we already had the Clare preview with like, I don't settle for men like that, and all those like lines. And now Tayshia gets her own preview with her iconic moments. And I'm thinking, we are only an hour and 20 minutes into this 2-hour episode. Do not tell me that we are about to sit down with Dale and Clare for 40 minutes.
Right.
I cannot with that.
I was like, wait, what are we doing? Do I have to spend the next whatever it was. They don't, though. This is real quick, and we get back to you. But we do have to jump over and do whatever this is called, and after the rose or something. Yeah,
after the final rose, I guess. It's sort of this impromptu, again, more like tying up the storyline and seeing them together. So happy. Okay. Are they happy? I don't really know, because Dale doesn't do much talking. It's mostly Clare.
Well, now, I forgot to mention at the end of the other episode, after they propose and the episode ends, we see Tayshia. They do like home video style. And obviously the two of them had left, but they're still having to quarantine together, right? They're like sequestered. Yeah. And, you know, she's like making a salad, and Dale's like, haha, we're having so much fun. And to camera, Claire's like, it's been so amazing these past 4 days. And I was like, oh my God, we're still only at 4 days. Like, time is not passing. You still hello, how many of us have had a long weekend with someone and then you're like, guess what? I'm not actually in love with this person.
I'm not into you at all.
Yeah. So I felt like that's where we are. And now we're sitting down, and I don't know, was that shot recently? Has it been months?
Yeah, I don't know.
I don't know.
I have no idea.
But they do still seem to be connected. And this is where I'm going to throw out some astrology, y'all.
Oh, please. Yes. Because while you're looking that up, I loved Chris during this whole thing. Like, I don't know if you know that meme where it's a guy who kind of looks like me, honestly. And he goes like this. And he kind of like blinks.
Oh,
like,
yeah. He
I
does
can't
look like you,
believe you're
actually.
saying that. Like, I just
Yeah.
felt like that was Chris during this whole interview.
Uh-huh.
Like, he just still kind of can't believe that he's looking at this thing and that this is real. But please
Right.
bless us with the astrology
Well,
smarts,
he does
Sarah.
say, like, at one point, Claire's like, I mean, I did nothing but respect the process. And he was like,
Yeah,
actually,
he's
you
like,
did kind of blow it up.
yeah.
So I wouldn't go that far as saying you did nothing but respect the process. Okay, so here's the thing. As most of you guys know, my mom is an astrologer, and she and I just, I tell her, she doesn't watch these shows, but I talk about these people like they're people in my lives. And I'm like,
Yeah.
and then Claire did this. And she's like, oh my God, what's her chart? She sounds crazy. She doesn't say crazy. I say crazy. And so by the end of this conversation, my mom had done Claire and Dale's chart somewhat. She doesn't have all of their birth information. Obviously, she can't do a full chart. But what we know is that Dale's a Libra and Claire's a Pisces.
Mm.
Now, a Libra needs a partner. That is their main driving force. So it's not surprising that Dale is up for this because he needs a partner.
Okay.
And a lot of Libra males do not leave their partner until they have another partner lined up.
Oh.
They're not ones to rock the boat. They don't want conflict. They do not want to fight about it. They don't want to be like, this isn't working out. They're just going to start looking for something else and set that up before they're like, hey, you know what? I'm gonna hit the road. These are just basics. This is just his sun sign. That's Libra. So I'm saying this is why he's into a partner so quick.
Okay.
Her sun is in Pisces. We said that. His moon is in Pisces. And this is why they feel like they have chemistry. There is just a spark there. There's a connection there. But on top of that, Pisces is a dreamy, romantic sign. So they are connecting on this like dreamy, romantic level. So it does make sense at this point that they would feel this strong connection, that they are going to love each other and get along. The downside is that, and we're not predicting, we're not saying this is going to happen, but what he has in his chart, Dale, he's got a Venus something or other that makes everyone love him. Claire is not the first person to meet Dale and be like, oh my God, you're amazing. Most women meet Dale and say, oh my God, I love you. He's used to this. And the other things in his chart show that he will step out with this line of women who are like, oh my God, I love you. You're amazing. And then he's going to move on to those women. So unfortunately, when she sits here and says, oh my God, I want babies now, I was like, hold up, girl. Just hold up 1 minute. Let's just see if he's gonna stay or not.
Boy, that's rough. That is a rough reading. Sometimes you have good astrological readings and then sometimes you have bad ones, and that's a bad one, everybody. That one's not great.
Right. Now, look, not everyone follows their tendencies. These are just tendencies, right? Some people can keep it together and they know that cheating is bad, but he's going to have that tendency. And so let's all just cross our fingers that they don't have babies right quite yet.
Yeah, that would be great. I mean, the reality is, like, I think the odds are that even if she had gone the whole season with Dale and picked him, the odds are against them that this would work out, right? Like, there's just, they just don't have great stats with the successive relationships in the Bachelor franchise. But the fact that this one is, 6 days old at this point is even worse. So good luck to them as they go on this journey together.
I mean, they did still look like they were very in love. So keep that Pisces connection going, guys. I hope it gets you guys far. Hope it does.
Yeah. Good luck. All right.
Let's go back to Tayshia.
Yeah, go back. So now we get we get this group date. I mean, we got to strip the guys down again, but we're just going to start them in the Speedos this time with the headbands. We're going to play some water polo. We're going to get Tayshia behind the same podium that Clare was with Chris. It's same date, but different circumstances here, different sets of guys. But it's
had a nice
just the fun
underwater camera for the Speedo shot. Mucho appreciated that. Thank you. Okay. So this is a group date. This isn't everybody. But we have divided into 2 teams, which you tell me is a thing we do. Yes. And the winning team is going to get to have dinner with her, and the losing team is going to have to like hit the road, but not fully. They do all get to come back together.
They do, because I think Tayshia's very much like, I just need time with people. Yeah. Like, I don't need to do the whole like you win and you lose, and so the rest of you have to go home. Like, let's just all go to dinner together, because I really don't know you at all. Like, I need time with you people to figure out who do I like here? So it was not, the date is what it is. That, the drama in the date is that they get a little too rowdy, and Spencer, of course, is the one who like gets the bloody lip, it's very much accidental. I mean, they played it up like he was being too aggressive the whole time, but
he was aggressive, David. Even Tayshia was like, you were really intense out there. Like, I'm not sure that Tayshia liked that, because she was pointing it out. I mean, I don't know. Who's to say? We'll find out. But I think it was Riley was like, his mouth hit my elbow.
Yeah.
As I was doing this.
Yeah. Riley's like, ow, Tayshia, my elbow. Come look after me, not Spencer. My elbow hurts.
But Spencer was bleeding, but he's like, it's all good. We are just, being competitive. And but I honestly was hoping that the blue team won, because Blake was on the green team, and I just love seeing Blake sad.
Yeah.
He lost the dodgeball or whatever we played. Yeah.
Devastated.
Stormed off half naked, and it ruined his whole day. So I was looking forward to that, but honestly, we didn't get any sad Blake.
We didn't. Sorry, maybe soon. But yes, she invites everybody to this dinner, and she does her one-on-one times, and this is where Easy is surging a little bit. He makes a good impression, and he gets a rose on this group date. So Sarah, I don't think you should give up on him.
No, and I'm not. I'm rooting for him. I just got worried. But also around here, she kisses Zach.
Yeah. Who saw that coming?
I'm going to be shocked about all the kissing, David. You're going to be like, yeah, whatever. It's the show. But I'm like, she kissed Zach.
Well, I am specifically surprised that she kissed Zach, because like, he's just one, like exactly. Who's Zach? Who's Brendan? Who's Jordan? Like, these are not people that I had my eye on. So to see Tayshia so into this person that I don't know anything about yet is surprising. Yeah.
We do get the guys sort of like talking to Spencer, and they're like, look, don't take this the wrong way, but you're kind of a dick.
Yeah.
I don't think there's a right way to take that, Kenny. But okay.
But Kenny's a straight shooter. I think he's like one of the oldest guys, maybe the oldest at this point. He's like 39, and he's like, I just like, stop.
Yeah.
Stop with the games. Like, he's kind of like Janelle on Big Brother All-Stars, where she's like, just stop. Like, you meant to do it. You said what you said. Just own it. Like, that's kind of Kenny's, MO this season, which I'm enjoying.
I'm totally enjoying it. I'm digging Kenny. I didn't know who he was actually a few episodes ago, but now I'm loving it. And
then we get a departure, which you wanted, Sarah.
I did. I wanted it originally, but I'll take it now. Poor Jason. Remember, I dug Jason when he went on this one-on-one. I was like, I am Jason. Jason, you are me. I feel you. I do not want to open up. I can't believe they made you do this on a show, but he was game, and it messed him up.
Yep.
Because then she broke up with him, basically.
Yeah, he got invested. He was like, I was a little surprised to see this kind of emotion from him. Like, I didn't realize how much that meant to him. Like, I was like, you threw a dress in a fire and you screamed into the open air in the desert. Like, okay. But he was like, I really opened up, and that was a lot for me. So I was like, okay, that's a lot for him. You got to like take him at his word here. He's like, I really was thinking that I was like going down a path with Clare, and this is just too fast of a switcheroo for me. I can't wrap my head around it. I can't get my head into this thing with Tayshia. Maybe she's just not his type. I don't know. But he's just not in it. And so he very respectfully goes to her and he's like, I just can't do this. It's not fair to you. I'm going to, bow out respectfully.
Yeah. It seemed like he had bonded with the guys. Like that first group, once Yosef was out, they all did seem to get along. And so, the way he was like, you guys, like, I don't need to take her time. Like, you guys might actually connect with her. And I just can't flip a switch, which again, I'm you, Jason. Jason, you are me. I can't flip a switch either. And I respect that you're able to say that and not put on a show for the show. Right.
Yeah, absolutely.
Most of us are putting it on for the show. And he was like, look, I just can't do it. Like, it's not me. For the guy who's like, I don't want to show emotion. He showed us a lot of emotion, actually.
He did. Yeah. So he's out. And now we're going to get a one-on-one date. First one-on-one. And it's Brendan. Everybody, we need to pay attention to Brendan.
All I know is he's got some curls on top of his head and he likes to wear turtlenecks. That's all I know about Brendan. But she seems to have a little thing for him. So he gets the first one-on-one and they ride off on these horses.
Yeah.
I don't know if you noticed, but they just did laps around the resort. They didn't.
That's really all you can do. You can't. You're not leaving the boundary of La Quinta. Sorry about it.
Nope. So they do some laps. Chris does a bit where he's like giving them margaritas and stuff, whatever. Yeah. Then they get to a pool and now we can get some real kissing on. Some real kissing.
Okay. What's the Sarah view on this kiss?
I didn't watch a lot of it. I was like this. As soon as I saw that they were going to be in a pool making out, I was like, okay, you guys go ahead.
Yeah.
I'm gonna let
and it was like
privacy.
I mean, I think you're right. Like kissing is going to be a thing for Tayshia. Like this reminds me a little bit of like Ari's season a few seasons ago, and Ari, they called him the kissing bandit, and it was basically like if you went on a one-on-one with Ari and didn't kiss him, you were out. You're going home. And so I just feel like Tayshia's a kisser. Let her be who she is, But this was like a pool makeout sesh. Yeah. Like there's some definite physical chemistry going on here.
It definitely seemed like they both were enjoying themselves. They get a dinner and we hear a little bit about the fact that he's divorced and he's nervous to tell her because, that could be a deal breaker for some women. So he like lays it all out for her and she's like, guess what? Me too.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's like, it's kind of has these weird echoes of Dale and Claire where these similarities in their backstory are like serious bonding points for them.
Yeah.
So I do think that's going to be huge for Tayshia because Tayshia, I mean, the divorce storyline has always been part of her storyline when she's been on The Bachelor. It was there when she was on Colton's season. It was there in Paradise. It's just always that tension of, I already got married and divorced once. I don't want to do it again. I want it to be for real. So that tension is always there for her. And so I think for her to see that in someone else is going to be big. And so I think that only helps Brendan's chances moving forward.
I mean, she gives us some sound bites of like, she really likes him. She's really connecting with him. So feeling very strongly about him. I guess at this point he is our little leader, but also, so he does get a rose at this point.
He does. Fireworks. They're in love. It's all great.
Oh, fireworks. Yeah. All good. So at this point, we do have 3 roses out: Spencer, Easy, and Brendan.
Yeah.
But I think we saw sparks with Zach as well. So I feel like he's a front runner as well.
For sure. Yeah. I would say those 4 right now are the tops, but we'll see how it develops.
But we get lots of The Bachelor loves a preview. So we're seeing all sorts of drama. We're seeing all sorts of guys doing things.
Tears.
And she's crying. Yeah.
Oh God. Yep.
So this is like a normal season now. Yeah, David? I'm now watching a normal season.
I mean, I hesitate to say yes, it's a normal season, but they're doing their best. That this is a reset. Like we're rebooting The Bachelorette season, whatever this is, and now it's just like they were the branding on all the apps and the websites. Like they got the new promo photos. Like Claire, who? Like we are not touching that anymore. Like it is
No.
Tayshia from here on out.
Yes, before I had seen the episode, which wrapped up Claire's storyline, my Hulu had a picture of Tayshia on it. And I was like, okay, I guess we've just are going to get through this real quick. Yeah. They're like, Claire, thank you for your service, but we are moving forward.
God. And I was visiting my parents, as you guys know, this past weekend, and there was a commercial for it on TV, and my dad was like, wait, what happened here? They like changed the Bachelorette out? And I was like, oh, well, Claire was here. And I like told him the whole thing, and he was like,
let me tell you.
My dad, who's like 71, was like, wow, that is dramatic. Yeah.
Yeah, that's exactly like I'm just talking to my mom about it, and she's like, "Oh my God, what is going on?" Like we said, the producers were like, "We see an opening here. Let's do something we've never done before. Switch this out." So I like the vibe. I like Tayshia's vibe, even though she's super kissy. I like it. Go for it, girl. Get you whatever you need. And I like the fact that the guys are happy now. I like most of the guys that are there. So very excited about wherever the heck this is headed. I don't know.
Agreed. Like I'm very happy with the energy shift and the fact that it was just fun to see the guys be like, you know, about Tayshia, and see them just like this new energy in them. You know, it was like getting tough to watch them feel so like downtrodden every single episode. And now they like have this light in their, you know, like they're lighting their loafers again. So it's fun. It's got a new energy and I'm super into it.
And we're learning new names.
Yeah. Sarah's favorite thing, learning contestant names.
Yeah, there was a clip of Ed, and I was like, well, welcome, Ed. Who are you?
Welcome, Ed. Oh, yeah. I hope we get more of Ed. I love his look. He's like a mob guy, you know?
Yeah. I'm like, yes, I need more of Ed. Like, what is happening? Okay, you guys, thank you for waiting for us. We had to catch up on these 2 episodes, and we are going to have some scheduling shifting around over the next week or so.
Sorry, but we're going to make it work.
So please stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out, because we'll let you know as we shift.
Yes, we are going to still cover everything for you guys.
Oh, yes, of course. You guys in the chat, thank you so much for hanging out with us live and keeping us entertained.
Yes, you guys are the best. If you're joining us later, you're also the best.
Yes.
Please just I will literally take any comment about what has happened in these 2 episodes.
Do
you think Claire and Dale are going to last? Yes. You know, what do you think of Tayshia as the Bachelorette? It's like, you know, what are our thoughts on her here? And then what do you think of these new front runners? Did you know who Brendan was before this episode? Be honest. I need honest answers.
Always honest answers here.
Yeah.
Don't give us anything else. All right, you guys, we will see you next time.
All right. Bye.
Bye.